Topics 11 and 12: Holidays, Festivals, Celebrations, and Panamanian Cultural Heritage, by teacher Nubia Colindres. Holidays, festivals, celebrations, and Panamanian cultural heritage. Panamanian citizens celebrate during the year many activities to commemorate national holidays and family events. These activities have marked our nationality and culture. Panama is a mixture of ethnics, traditions, and customs. The national holidays, carnival season, cultural festivals are examples of our culture. We are a blend of Spanish, Native American, and other European countries, which have influenced in our culture, music, dance, customs, and even food. Our folklore is enriched with a variety of festivals, dances, and traditions that have passed on from our ancestors to us. In our families, we also have celebrations like birthdays, weddings, religious events, graduations, and others that are an important part of our heritage. Celebrations in Panama, we are going to start with the holidays. For example, Christmas, New Year's Day, carnivals, patriotic celebrations in November, and Mother's Day. Some festivals and religious events that we have in Panama are the Polleras Festival, Diablos and Congos Festival, Holy Week as a religion event, and also some religious processions in every province. Family celebrations, we can mention the birthdays, some graduations, and religious events also like baptisms, first communion, confirmations, and weddings. In regards to Panamanian cultural heritage, we can talk about the handicrafts. Handicrafts can be defined as products which are produced either completely by hand or with the help of tools. They are unique expressions and represent a culture, tradition, and a heritage of a country. Panamanian handicrafts. Some examples are molas, tembleques, the Panamanian hat or the straw hat, woven baskets, chaquiras, nahuas, ceramics, and cutarras. Folklore. In regard to folklore, we can mention the folk music like tamborito, cumbia, mejorana, and folk dances. Some examples are el punto, the Gran Diablo dance, indigenous dances which are very important, the Torito Guapo dance, for example. The folk dress, we can mention la pollera, the straw hat, as we mentioned before, el montuno, the diablicos masks, and some Congo dresses, for example. Traditional Panamanian food. We cannot talk about culture and leave out the food. For example, we can mention rice with chicken, the sancocho with a chicken soup, the bollos, which are made of corn, also the tamales, the chicheme, which is made of corn, bone bread, torrejitas, which are made of corn, and hojaldres. These are some examples. We're going to see now some words, glossary that you may learn some words from here. Ancestor, for example, a person, typically one more remote than a grandparent from whom one is descended. Blending. Blending means to combine different elements into a single entity. The carnival is the period of merry-making and feasting celebrated just before Lent. Custom is a traditional practice or usual way of doing something followed by a social group or people. Descendant is a person, plant, or animal that is descended from a particular ancestor. Generation is all the people born and living at about the same time regarded collectively. Handicraft, as we saw before, is a work that requires both manual and artistic skills. Heritage is something that is passed down from preceding generations, like a tradition. Inheritance is something that is inherited. Mask is a covering for all or part of the face, worn as a disguise or to amuse or terrify other people. Parade is a public procession, especially one celebrating a special day or event and including marching bands and floats. Pottery is ware such as vases, pots, bowls, or plates shaped from moist clay and hardened by heat. Tradition is the passing down of elements of a culture from generation to generation, especially by oral communication. Wood carving is the art of creating or decorating objects of wood by carving with a sharp handle. Grammar. Clauses. We're going to see some clauses. A clause is a group of words containing a subject and a verb. A phrase is a group of words that does not contain a subject and a verb. For example, Jim studies business. This is a clause because it contains a subject and a verb. And his books is a phrase. Doesn't make any sense also. Independent clause and dependent clause. An independent clause, or the main clause, is the most important. It's a complete sentence. It contains the main subject and a verb of a sentence. A dependent clause or subordinate clause is not a complete sentence. For example, I know is a main clause, it can stand by itself. And where Sue lives is a dependent clause. Now we're going to see noun clause. A noun clause has the same use in a sentence as a noun. It is used as an object or a subject. For example, what she said is true. What she said is a subject position. It is important that she likes her new job. This is a noun clause in object position. How do you know if the clause is in subject position or object position? It's easy. You should see the position in the sentence. At the beginning, before the verb, it is subject position. And after the verb, it is object position. So if I say whoever is guilty must tell the truth, what is the clause and the position? The clause is whoever is guilty, and it is in subject position, before the verb must tell. Thanks. Can you give me an example in object position, please? Of course. They see what they want to see. The clause is at the end, what they want to see. Thanks. You're welcome. Now we're going to see adjective clause. An adjective clause modifies a noun. For example, the book which is on the table is mine. I know the doctor who helped my father after the accident. The man that I saw was Mr. Jones. I know the man whose bicycle was stolen. So, adjective clauses function as adjectives. Yes, they modify nouns. They say something about that noun, but they must be close to it. Could you give me an example, please? Of course. The cat which is fighting belongs to my neighbor. Where is the adjective clause and the noun? The adjective clause is which is fighting, and the noun that is modifying is cat. Can I use that and not which? Can I use who or whose? You can use which and that with objects and animals, but who is for people. And who syndicates possession? Thank you so much. Anytime. Now it's time to practice. Let's practice. Let's identify with a check mark the following as phrases or clauses. In the kitchen is a phrase. Martha and Jan is also a phrase. She puts it on the shelf. That is a clause. The boy on the bus is a phrase. The lights are on. Clause. Very quickly is also a phrase. When I get home is a clause. When it fell on the floor is also a clause. When you wake up is a clause. Will be running is a phrase. Now we're going to underline the clauses, only the clauses in the following sentence, and identify them as noun clauses, NC, or adjective clauses, AC. The first sentence is, the car that I bought from the agency turned out to be a disaster. So the clause is that I brought from the agency and is an adjective clause. Next sentence says, I can tell you what they did. The clause is what they did and is a noun clause. Next sentence, the clause is who had recently celebrated a birthday. It is an adjective clause. The next one, the clause is that his minister deserves to be honored. It's a noun clause. The next sentence, that he is a criminal. It is a noun clause. The next one, who lives in a trailer with some scrappy dogs and the cats, that it's an adjective clause because it's modifying Lila. Next sentence, who smokes cigarettes, is also modifying Jacob, so it's an adjective clause. He said that his sister was ill. The clause is that his sister was ill. It's a noun clause. An object position, by the way. I have lost my wedding ring, which is worth at least $10. Which is worth at least $10 is an adjective clause because it's talking about the ring. The bench of judges declare that the accused was not guilty. That the accused was not guilty is a noun clause. So with this, we finish with this short practice about clauses, noun clauses, and adjective clauses. Thank you, thank you, thank you.